All right, I got a little knife review. I got the Benchmade Adamas. It's my Benchmade Adamas. It was given to me in 2021. They've seemed to have some success with the Adamas, so they've ran with it and they continue to make it. But I got Benchmade to send me a sheath for my Adamas because my Adamas lost its sheath somewhere along the way of its journey in life. So, got my SE right here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I was hoping it wouldn't match, but unfortunately it matches, which is kind of a bummer. Like, it's cool when your khaki sheath and then your black knife. So let me get to the knife. I'm a little bit, I'm glad they sent me in a sheath, but I wish, yeah. So there you have it. This is D2 steel. This is primarily a combat like field knife. They made it to be very like Male, fitting. Mine does not have the flat back spine. It has the sawtooth in the back, which this was very popular when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s and indicative of movie knives and combat knives, but it's not useful in this day and age. I think at this point, the current model of the Adamas, it's a thick flat back spine, which I'll be honest with you, in the woods and in everyday life is much more useful to me than this. If you want to open up a coconut or something, you just take that blunt back and just 2 hits and a coconut will be wide open. This, you can't baton because whatever you're hitting it with will get stuck in the back unless it happens to be a hammer or a rock or something like that. But then you risk in cutting yourself on this sharp edge. So I do recommend flat back spines. They're very useful, if you're throwing sparks with the ferrocerium rod or whatever. That's the way to go. So anyways, yeah, this knife was given to me. It's a great fidget knife. If you don't have a paracord knife, they're, very unique feel. And yeah, I think everybody should have some sort of paracord knife. But these, the Adamas now, these days, it's, I think it's, they offer it in a CPM, but they're running just under $300. They're not cheap. And this one wasn't cheap either. So I certainly didn't pass on the offer of being given this knife. This edge is indestructible. It is quite sharp, and this is a great knife to have in the woods or the end of days scenario because this is indestructible. It's got great balance. It's made by CNC machine, and that's what when they started this, it was all to see, like, what the CNC can give us. It, 10 years, 15 years from me making this video, it's a knife, but we'll see what current technology brings us, 15, 20 years down the line. But I do see it in this knife, and as I am talking, like, I do see the technology in this knife. Like, that is quite an edge. I mean, that is very sharp. So yeah, Benchmade Adamas. And one thing I want to add is I watch a lot of knife videos, and I've heard 2 different people. One guy, he had an Adamas and he thought it might be a clone. And then I saw another guy go into a pawn shop and he was looking at a Benchmade, and he was, sure, this isn't a counterfeit. This is a knockoff item here. And so in the knife world these days, if you're going to go big on knives, make sure you go to a reputable dealer, or maybe Benchmade themselves, or or Blade HQ or whoever, but I think that, 10, 15 years ago, you didn't have to worry about that stuff, but now, I think there is quite a bit of knockoffs running around of the high-end knife brands. So anyways, Benchmade sent me this, no charge whatsoever. So now I got an Adamas, and I can carry.